could you briefly introduce the Aristea SICAV Financial Capital Fund?
Aristea SICAV Financial Capital is a UCITS fund specialized in the European financial subordinated bond market, with a focus on instruments issued by banks and insurance companies. The portfolio targets opportunities offered by a segment that now represents a significant portion of the regulatory capital of European financial institutions, a segment which is becoming increasingly strategic, both for investors and the regulators. European banks are emerging from over a decade of deep crisis. While systemic risk has not entirely disappeared and can never be fully ruled out, it is now more contained than in the past. This asset class can therefore offer an interesting return potential, considering the increasingly complex European regulation, which limits access to these instruments for retail clients, the structural and regulatory complexity, requiring in-depth analysis by specialized professionals.
Which instruments does the fund primarily invest in, and what is the rationale behind this focus?
The portfolio mainly invests in Tier 2 securities and up to 49% in the so-called CoCo bonds, additional Tier 1 securities issued by banks, or restricted Tier 1 securities issued by insurance companies. Tier 2 securities are a form of subordinated debt issued by financial institutions. In the event of the issuer's liquidation, they are repaid after senior bonds, but before other subordinated instruments like CoCos. CoCos are hybrid financial instruments designed to strengthen the so-called Tier 1 capital. From a risk perspective, they are closer to equity capital. They are explicitly designed to absorb losses during periods of financial stress, thereby contributing to the stability of the issuing institution.
How do you manage volatility, and what diversification principles guide your investment approach?
The financial subordinated bond market is more volatile than the senior bond market. In this context, diversification is key. The portfolio is built to balance risk and return by diversifying both issuer and geographic exposure. This approach helps mitigate the impact of idiosyncratic events while maintaining selective exposure to the themes with the greatest potential. As a result, managing the portfolio requires a specific technical expertise related to each issuer, the individual prospectus accompanying every bond issuance, a detailed understanding of the European regulatory framework, and an ongoing analysis of the behavior of issuers, rating agencies, and most importantly, supervisory authorities. Aristea SICAV Financial Capital offers investors exposure to the European financial subordinated sector, compatible with a MiFID retail classification.